monster inside of me. You better watch out if your enemy's a road ahead of full prophecy to be the greatest beast the world has ever seen. I feed him every day like the bones clean. I feed him all the hate and he grows me, and he gets caused real big, pissed off quick. And if you cross him, you might drop dead. Metaphorically, of course, settling the score, never getting bored. Loves of blood and gold, always wanting more freedom from the source. They don't really listen until they feel the force of hard in. If you start shit, you'll be heartless in the darkness. Torn apart quick, you left scars ripped, you'll be chewed up and discarded. And this world ain't right, won't accept it. Negative energy, I expect it. Once it's in your mind, it's infectious. So fight for your life and reject it. You better give me space, I'm protective. My adrenaline spikes when I'm threatened. And if you stay in my way, I'm aggressive. Cause when there's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate. When there's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate. Negative energy, I expect it. Once it's in your mind, it's infectious. So fight for your life and reject it. You better give me space, I'm protective. My adrenaline spikes when I'm threatened. And if you stay in my way, I'm aggressive. Cause when there's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate. When there's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate. I wake up every minute with the fever dreams. I push my mind to a limit where it needs to be. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be. And when my mind turns sour with the painful scenes, I need to scream out loud, I can't stop me. I wanna be the greatest like Rocky. You know I leave them all hating like a hobby. I'm out here making moves like a lobby. And if you ain't with me, it's your loss, see. I got my mind on the facts, I'm a python, grab what I like real fast. Choke until I have everything I attack, everything that I lack, everything that I want, and I see, matter of fact. Cause I'm my own worst enemy. Only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it. Every morning I wake up obsessed, and everything I do the best. And deep within my mind, you know I'll always manifest it.
Hello and welcome to my Mind or Your Matter. My name is Rick. Let's turn on the cameras here and welcome to Happy Pokemon Day, 30th anniversary. Wow, 3 decades old, 30 years of Pokemon. And as you can see, I have a lot of Pokemon around me, all around me. It's Pokemon. I got a couple of stuff that I got to rip for my shorts, for my shorts later. And I hope everyone had a great day today. As you can see, it was a little change to the show today. Did a little upgrade to the system, still having the same problems. Listen, so it's focusing in. I still have the fucking same problems, but I'm doing a week trial on an advanced program of StreamYard to see if it solves the problem. Guess what? It didn't. So I'm gonna get in contact with StreamYard tomorrow and show them the picture of what it's doing. It has some difficulty with the audio, and I'm trying to get it fixed. It's still even in an advanced program, which is about a this is a $90. Listen to this, $90 a month service, and it still has fucking audio issues. Can you believe that? I was paying $45 to have the audio issue, and I thought maybe it was that side of the program, so I upgraded to the 90, which is pretty much $90 is 89.99 or something like that. Pretty much $90, and it's still the same shit. They're like, "Oh, but the screen is 4K, 4K." Who gives a shit if it's fucking 4K? It's the same shit as the $45. So I'm not happy with that little upgrade. I think that I got it for free for 1 week. So I'm gonna give it a 1 week trial. Most likely World War III might break out. I'm thinking May 1st. We need to figure out where the moon is at this moment, which I'm gonna find out right now because we need to know. So the full moon is in March 3rd. So chances are between March 1st and March 3rd, this war is going to begin. And it's going to be very scary, very intense, nonstop. It's going to be very deadly. They're already evacuating areas in Israel. All they're telling all the Americans to leave Israel, leave Jordan, leave Egypt, leave like Saudi Arabia, leave all. If you're American and you're in the Middle East, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Go get out. Come back to America, where you're safe. Um, it's just gonna get fucking crazy. I can't believe I'm alive to witness this. This is the final thing that I needed to fulfill my prophecy and what I want to see. And World War III. Wow, it's already kind of begun already because the Pakistan and Afghanistan, they already started their war, and it's an open war, and they're going at it like crazy right now between Afghanistan and Pakistan. You're not hearing it in the news, you're getting it from me. And I'm telling you right now, it's not good at all. So just be ready. Just make sure you got your shit together. Um so much for oh Terry, what's up? So much for WrestleMania next year. Yeah, it's in Saudi Arabia, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's in Riyadh. Um I would not go over there for no fucking wrestling event or nothing. Like that's a easy soft target. If you want to make a huge worldwide impact, bomb WrestleMania with a ballistic missile, blow up the whole thing, kill all the wrestlers, kill the whole entertainment. You'll see that it be the biggest event that could happen to humanity. I mean, they're already not really good at what they're doing at the moment. Um, greed is going to get you killed. And the fact that like WrestleMania and WWE are so greedy for money that they're selling themselves to go out to the Middle East to put themselves in harm's way. And all it takes is one missile to land in that stadium and blow everything up. And they're gonna be like, yes, we have a real world record of deaths. A new world record of deaths in one location because of greed. Thank you, Triple H. Thank you. All right, let's get on with the news. TKO sold them out. Yeah, man, it's all about the money. It's all about the money. And it's not Shane McMahon. It's not it's not Shane, it's not Vince. It's TKO with their greed. And they thought that they could tap in and make a ton of money off of WWE's back. Make a ton of money off of Vince McMahon's brilliancy. They screwed themselves over with their fucking insane ticket prices for pay-per-views that it doesn't look any different than a Raw or SmackDown event. I mean, you get Raw for like 3 hours. That's a shit show. You go over to SmackDown, you might as well go to sleep and you'll get more entertainment. And then you get a pay-per-view like WrestleMania for 2 days. We are going to do it for 2 days. It's a Raw and a SmackDown show. What excitement am I going to be if it's the same fucking wrestlers fighting every fucking, like, the same time? It's not the same prestige as it was in the 80s. It's not the same as it was in the 90s. We're in 2026 and we got bullshit wrestlers, bullshit entertainment. I'm not anticipating, oh my god, this is so awesome, I can't miss it. Right. Okay. But happy Pokemon Day, everyone. And yes, 30 years of Pokemon. Incredible. I'm going to be opening up some goodies back here that I still got to record and put up. So I usually do that after the show. So I got a lineup of videos lined up for tonight. Once I'm done, hopefully I'll be done in an hour. Let's say 2 hours, less than 2 hours, hopefully. I always say that it always goes to 3, but I'm going to try to keep it to 2. I got a couple of things that I picked up today. I picked up a booster packs here, Destin Rivals, because that's what I've been working on. Let's do a little zoom in so you guys can see it a little bit better. Destin Rivals. So I got a little booster box here, and we got the 30th anniversary of Pokemon. I'm gonna be opening this one up tonight. Also, I'm gonna be doing a shorts on this, so pay attention to my shorts, and please like and please subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, I don't know what you're doing. You're missing out on a lot of good stuff, good content, and I got some more stuff too. More news. I actually went and I put in an order. I put in an order for Perfect Order. That's right. I am getting a EBT of Perfect Order next month. I put in the order for the pre-order, paid it up front. Gonna be getting it next month on the 27th. I'm still gonna be looking it out like at Walmart to see if they do pump it into Walmart, because I'm gonna get a couple of them from Walmart. I got one from GameStop because for some reason GameStop has been a little bit luckier with pulls. So I got one EBT from them. It cost me $85 because I am a member of the GameStop community. I am a pro, so I get a discount. And I get $5 a month off of my products. So it was pretty cool. The booster pack, the 6 packs, I got it for like $45 with tax and everything. $45 for 6 packs. Comes out to about $7.57 each pack, which is a great thing, a great deal, because those packs of Destin Rivals is going pretty high. anywhere between $10 to $12 just for one pack. That's crazy. But while I was there, the people were like, hey, the associate, he was like, if you want, you could reserve for the perfect order, and you would like to reserve? I was like, what's the benefit of it? He goes, if you pre-order it now, you'll get it for $85 with tax and all. Like, I was like, $85? That's good, because I know that set is going to be $130, $140, like easy on the secondary markets, probably more. I may get about 3 BTs on that, which is the Elite Trainer box. And then probably get another Ascended Heroes. I still got my Ascended Heroes over here. I really don't want to open that one. For some reason, I feel like it's a special box, and I feel like I should save that for my niece. For some reason, it's just something's telling me that. Let's see what we got here. Yo, what's up, Albie? All right, let's get started with the show, because we got some news to watch, and the faster we get this through, the better. All right, here we go. Set this up. Let's go.
Secret mind control experiments are back in the spotlight. Newly released documents reveal details about MK Ultra, a 1950s program using LSD and hypnosis to study behavior control. Pharmaceutical company Eli Lilly reportedly supplied large amounts of LSD for that project. Some tests were done on unsuspecting Americans, including prison inmates. National Security Archive, marking 50 years since the program's exposure, compared the research to Nazi experiments and criticized the lack of accountability.
The CIA actually has been potentially researching how vaccines could be used for mind control, as well as many other methods. The documents that are circulating around are regarding Project Artichoke. So this says, look, we've got this grand idea of how we're basically going to drug people and do all kinds of weird experiments on them to see if we could control their minds. These documents don't show that anything was actually done. It just shows that we've got these really crazy ideas, and they're extremely unethical, inhumane, terrible, terrible ideas. The 1977 leak of documents say, oh yeah, well, actually the government did it. They did all of those terrible things they said they were doing in that previous memo. They did it. And now here's some of the archives that we have from when they did all of those terrible things. So, okay, these documents, Special Research for Artichoke, dated April 21st of 1952. The memo proposes developing long-term covert drugs that could be slipped into daily life. Drugs that were, quote, administered over a considerable period of time, possibly being placed in food or water that caused either agitation or depression. These, quote, should include chemicals or drugs that can be effectively concealed in common items such as food, water, Coca-Cola, beer, liquor, cigarettes, etc., and should also be capable of use in standard medical treatments such as vaccinations and shots. We can do all this other experimentation, which nobody will know about. It's sneaky. Sneak it into their Coca-Cola, sneak it into their beer, their cigarettes, their vaccines, their medications. Let's sneak it all in. So there you have it. Oh, those wild conspiracy theories.
But the CIA also made sure most of this would never be seen by the public, destroying most of the files. They were torn and burned just days before the head of the agency was fired by then President Richard Nixon for refusing to help cover up Watergate. Beyond just mind control, declassified documents show the agency also chased a dark tool, discrediting, using drugs like LSD to make someone look insane, then watching the world turn on them.
They were experimenting on American citizens. I hate conspiracy theories that run amok. But you know, a former CIA director is the one who came up with the term conspiracy theory to discredit people by making them sound like crazy people, when in fact, there was such a thing called
the truth is what's crazy.
Operation Grasshopper or MK Chipwick. And the CIA did crazy, crazy stuff from roughly 1952 to 1975. The Chinese told us in like 1951 that the Russians were using LSD to try to engineer it to be used as a mind control drug. That was disinformation. The truth was the Russians had no LSD program. The Chinese did. So they tried to throw us off the scent by blaming the Russians.
Of course.
We panicked. And by 1952, we started this program called MK Ultra, which began by using LSD experimentally. They started by dosing their own employees without telling them. Several committed. One jumped out of a hotel window.
Dosing them with what?
LSD.
With the hope that...
See if we can control them, see if we can plant memories that didn't actually happen. Then they decided, no, it's not a good idea to dose our own people. Let's just dose strangers out in public. So they went to San Francisco, rented a safe house. They hired to go out on the street, pick up Johns, people who hire, bring them back to the safe house, dose the Johns with LSD, and just see what happens. But I mean, these are like serious crimes you're committing against people.
The CIA paid workers to lure men to safe houses where agents drugged them and then watched them through one-way mirrors and recorded their behavior.
Exactly.
They tried to erase their personality.
Nice, huh?
The goal was often to break and rebuild the human mind. In 1973, the CIA director ordered mass destruction of the MK Ultra files.
That day, he testified before the church committee. The church committee specifically told him, do not destroy any documents. He went back that afternoon to the CIA and said, destroy everything.
Why?
Because it was damning. They were experimenting on American citizens. They were experimenting by spreading diseases in American cities. He was fined like $150, and about 15% of the documents were overlooked and survived. We'll never know exactly what happened under MK Ultra.
This is a special 10 News Plus program. We've seen the meltdowns when kids are pried away from screens, but frightening new data shows those devices could be causing deeper problems. Tonight, the experts call to radically change the rules.
I'm sorry, but you can't have an iPad. Okay,
oh. Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad.
As parents, we already know it. Excessive screen time, excessive emotion. But what if it's much worse than that?
Can you see the screen all right?
This is 5-year-old Rose. She was one of 60 kids to undergo an exhaustive study in the US, using an MRI machine to scan the brains of kids aged 3 to 5 years old. The results, truly shocking. Interactive screen time causes a loss of white matter in the brain.
Well, in the simplest terms, we could actually refer to as some measure of brain impairment or brain damage.
Professor Mike Nagel from the University of the Sunshine Coast has spent a career studying child brain development.
So white matter in the brain is a material called myelin. So what myelin does is it wraps around the axons of neurons and acts like an insulator, a conductor, not too dissimilar to the plastic coating of a wire. So if we're seeing deficits in myelin production early in life, we're probably seeing deficits in neural connectivity.
The study shows the more screen time a child is exposed to, the greater the loss of white matter. Can you remember your first reaction to those results, not only as a professional in this field, but as a father?
My gut reaction was, wow, I was not anticipating seeing anything like that. It hadn't occurred to me at the time that something as little as, and it said 2 hours a day, was having such a profound effect on the white matter associated with sort of language development. And by association, literacy, it was a shock, to be honest.
He also believes big data.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. It's great to finally see you.
Good to see you as well. Thanks for your patience.
Professor Hutton is a man in demand. It was his research that proved the link between screen time and the loss of white brain matter.
Yeah, I mean, it's really the elephant in the room. It's such a, to me, an obvious relationship.
John, what is your fear if we don't address it?
The fear is just losing a generation of kids, just kids growing up not meeting their potential, the continued rise in self-harm and body image disorder, anorexia, bulimia.
Smoking causes mouth cancer.
The professor believes screen time will be what smoking was to a previous generation.
For decades, we pretended like smoking, everyone kind of knew that it was probably harmful, but the industry pushed back and said, no, it's not. I think the same thing is going to come down the road for devices, but I think we are at risk of really having a lot of kids and a whole generation that's going to struggle unnecessarily.
As a parent, there are already more than enough dangers to navigate, but clearly screen time is something we need to pay attention to. So what should the guidelines be? How much of this is too much? In fact, is there any safe limit at all?
So what is the balance, Mike? What is the right balance?
Well, that's the $1 million question. There really isn't any necessity for a child from 0 to 8 to be using screens on a regular basis.
The advice from our experts: no devices in the bedroom, no devices at mealtime.
Only kids,
that's
but
adults
adults too.
included. No interactive screen time for any child up to the age of 5. For older kids up to 12, no more than 30 minutes a day. Limits for teenagers? Well, that's easier said than done, right? But fear not, there are more extreme options.
Great section, sir.
If they knew full well what they were in for, they got a bit of a rude shock.
Military school. That's what you need to send them. Send those little bastards to military school, and you see them how they flourish. We didn't have this shit in the 80s, man. We didn't have this nowhere in the 70s, 80s. We didn't have this. Like, our entertainment was outside playing with the fucking neighborhood kids and running around, making a ruckus, playing jumping jacks and hopscotch and riding your bikes and your little scooters, where you push with your feet. Like, this generation, this is the generation that's fucked. Okay? And there's no easier way of saying it. They're fucked. And we're about to go to World War III. And you think all these fuckers now, the 18, 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds that are acting a ruckus and throwing these crazy snowball fights in New York City, injuring police officers, and all these little protesters in Minnesota and in Seattle and in LA. Guess what, motherfuckers? You keep it up, there will be a draft. And guess what? You're going to go to the front line and you're going to fight for this country, and you're going to learn how to respect this country and love this country, because you're going to fight for this country. That's the only way we're going to bring stability back to the United States. That's the only way we're going to bring back respect to the United States, is by putting these motherfuckers out to war and have them fight to the death. And if they come back as heroes. And guess what? They'll be held up like in a pedestal, put them on a pedestal, and they'll have their allegiance, and they'll be all happy, and everybody will be all celebrating them. And you know how it used to be, but the Democrats have been, demon rats have been infiltrated by the Communist Socialist Party, and they're infiltrated really deep in the Democratic Party. You saw what happened in the State of the Union. Did you see any of the Democrats stand up or clap when Trump says, the Americans are first to be protected against the illegals? Like, America comes first. And they couldn't even clap for that. They couldn't even clap for us, Americans. They couldn't clap for us. They didn't even acknowledge us. They don't care about us. Listen to Michael Jackson's song. When he sung, they don't really care about us. It's the fucking truth. It is the truth. All right, guys, let's keep it moving. I really want to get this done in 2 hours. We'll see. We'll see if we can get it done. Keep it moving. What is that?
It's a wonderful feeling. I really took on a pretty big challenge trying.
Wait a minute. I have to put pause here for a second. Who the fuck is this? I have to make it big. That's Jim Carrey? What the fuck happened to Jim Carrey? Did he get Botox? Did he get new cheeks or something? Who the fuck is this imposter? Yo, I've seen a lot of Jim Carrey movies. Trust me, I am a fan. I was a fan when he first came out in Living Color. That's where his big break was in Living Color. And big fan of him. I used to love, oh my God, Fire Marshal Bill. Oh my God, it was so funny. He played so many different characters. Super, like, that show is so under, like, I don't even know why they just stopped doing the show. I know why, but they that show should have kept going because that show was so good. And and that type of show, you can't play it today because everyone gets offended easily. Eagles gets hurt. Their feelings get hurt. Oh my God, why are they making fun of him? Listen, I don't think that's Jim Carrey. I don't know where's Jim Carrey. I don't know who the fuck this guy is, but we're gonna keep watching and we'll figure it out. But we're gonna get closer looks at this guy.
To do my speech in French, so I wrote it and I researched it and I practiced it like crazy. But it's then I watched everybody like talking 1,000 miles an hour up there, receiving their awards, and I was like, I'm dead. And I made mistakes, and I was like a novice, but I felt a lot of love, and I felt a lot of appreciation that I tried, and what I said was true, and I really wanted to recognize my family. I wanted to recognize my dad. I mean, my dad was the type of person that if you met him for 5 minutes, you felt like you knew him for 50 years. I can't talk about him without getting emotional. Oh, loved it. It's so beautiful. And having Michelle, Camille Coton was also amazing. And it was just a brilliant evening, really brilliant evening. Oh my gosh. Marshall Molière was off the hook. I mean, I can't believe he committed to doing all that. I was really, is this about someone else? My favorite funny face is the one I'm wearing right now.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Jim.
What the fuck?
Now I'm closer. Can you sit here? Now what are you going to do? Now what are you doing? Jim, you got the golden shot right there.
What is going on with Jim Carrey?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yo, what are they doing to Jim Carrey?
Is that a gang sign? Have you...
Oh, like you don't know what it is.
I have no idea.
You don't know. Jimmy Fallon doesn't know. David Letterman doesn't know.
We don't know.
All the comics and show business don't know what this is. Right? Yeah.
What is it?
Come on, Jimmy. For years now, talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track, to distract you, to make you laugh and stuff like that, make you happy and docile so you don't know what's really going on. And they get out there in the woods in a circle naked and they decide these things. Hold on a second. You know what they're trying to do? Who? This thing is buzzing. Hold on. They're trying to turn us into, I just got to get this.
Yeah.
The shit we did.
Listen, I'm in the middle of blowing the lid off some...
What happened?
I'm sorry, Jimmy.
Jeffrey Epstein, the late convicted offender, was known for his extraordinary wealth and power. But beyond the crimes that shocked the world, there are new revelations that shed light on Epstein's chilling and bizarre obsession. They are even more disturbing and unreal. Well, reports suggest that Epstein was fascinated by transhumanism. He dreamt of creating a so-called super race of humans using his own DNA. He reportedly believed that through artificial intelligence and genetic engineering, he could cheat death and live forever. The revelations deepen concerns about Epstein's manipulation of science, wealth, and influence. He reportedly discussed DNA editing, using his wealth to access the cutting edge of biological research for his own interests.
From the beginning of time, well, especially with like modern stuff, because you can with modern masks. Like, remember the tall Biden? There's not a chance that was Biden.
I feel so redeemed. My wife used to get so mad at me.
That was not Joe Biden.
So mad at me. My kids would get so mad at me, and I would say it everywhere. I'd say it on stage. I'd say it on social media. I go, I don't care what you say. That is not Joe Biden.
There was also that in the files too. They were talking
Call me
about the
crazy.
masks.
And now all of a sudden they're like, oh no, he was executed.
Remember when she went bald? And she went crazy?
That seems sus.
Bro, I went down
There's
that
a lot
rabbit
of those emails are just emails, right?
Hey, Jim Carrey. Yes.
What?
I've covered a lot of fashion weeks. This is the first time I've run into Jim Carrey. Wait, tell me, is it true you're wandering the streets? You need a date to the party? What's up?
No. I'm doing just fine. I just, there's no meaning to any of this. So
Hear the voice?
I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join, and here I am.
And look how he looks.
I mean, you got to admit it's completely meaningless.
Look at his jaw.
Well, they say they're celebrating icons inside.
Celebrating
Do you believe
icons,
in
boy, that is
Look at his
just the
cheeks.
absolute lowest aiming,
Look at his
possibility
eyebrows.
that we could come up with. It's like icons.
See his facial.
Do you believe in
facial,
icons?
Like,
I don't believe in
facial.
personalities. I don't believe that you exist, but there is a wonderful fragrance in the air.
You don't believe certain icons have the power to make change, to think differently, to be bold, to inspire others? Artistry, you're one of them.
On the good foot. Ha! Yeah. You shut it down now. Yeah, no, I don't believe in icons. I don't believe in personalities. I believe that peace lies beyond personality, beyond invention and disguise, beyond the red S that you wear on your chest that makes bullets bounce off. I believe that it's deeper than that. I believe we're a field of energy dancing for itself. And I don't care.
But Jim, you got really dressed up for the occasion. You look good.
No, I
Was that
didn't
an
get dressed
accident?
up. I didn't get dressed up.
Who did?
There is no me.
There's no you.
No.
We're not here. This is a dream.
There's just things happening. And there are clusters of tetrahedrons moving around together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's happening in our world right now? Because there is a lot of news that actually is relevant that's not that
Here's
uplifting.
the thing. It's not our world.
None
That's
of this
the
is real?
Nope.
So you're just passing
We don't
through.
matter. We don't matter.
Oh, wow.
There's the good news.
Okay.
Reports suggest that Epstein's circle included Murray Gell-Mann, who proposed the quark, the evolutionary biologist Stephen Jay Gould, the neurologist and author Oliver Sacks, and the theoretical physicist Frank Wilczek. On one occasion, Epstein held a lunch at Harvard's program for evolutionary dynamics. Even after his release from prison, Epstein continued to be a frequent visitor at Harvard University. Between 2010 and 2018, Epstein went to the program for evolutionary dynamic officers for more than 40 times. He reportedly had helped fund with a $6.5 million donation. In 2011, he gave $20,000 to the Worldwide Transhumanist Association, a project that now operates as Humanity Plus. This donation aligned perfectly with his narcissistic goal of using science to extend his own life. The Epstein files reveal a man who believed he was above nature itself. His cryonics and eugenics fantasies stand as a testament to his ultimate delusion that wealth could buy him immortality.
He's dealing with a lot of criminals and weirdos, and a lot of those people are probably full of shit, right? So just because somebody writes something in an email doesn't mean it's a fact. However, when you see the video of Tall Biden, pull out Tall Biden.
Come on, man.
He grew. He grew, and then he went back. Like they might have put him on some, and then he shrunk back down again.
and his eye color would change.
This one, right? Like
yes, that one.
Yeah.
Like look at the difference.
Well, he's like 6'9". Look at it. That's a robot. Look, send out the robot.
You got a video of him walking out there, because when he walk, look how long his legs are. Look how tall he is. This is absolutely insane.
Like, who's watching this going, yeah, no, that's the same guy.
Not only is he taller, but he moves better. He's more relaxed when he moves.
It was Joe.
It's like a guy doing an impression of Joe Biden.
Yes, look at his.
Not Joe.
But look how long this guy's legs are. This is what's crazy. But rewind that again, please. Here it is. It's good. It's starting from the beginning. But
Joe Biden died.
It's right there. It's good.
In Vegas.
Just play it. Yeah. It's starting from the. So here's when he walks out. Look at how long his legs. This guy's a basketball player.
He can
look
dunk.
how tall he is.
First president that can dunk.
I mean, just stop. Pause it right there, please.
Right there.
Pause it. Pause it. Just the physical frame.
Yep.
When you look at the length of his legs, that's extraordinary. That's not like Jeffrey Epstein's.
No, no, these are whole different.
That is a tall man. Like, there's no way that's a short man. There's no way that's a normal. Like, how tall was Joe Biden supposedly? 6 feet, 6'1" maybe.
Yeah.
How tall was he supposed to be?
The real Joe Biden.
Tall was Joe Biden.
Pre-2019.
I said was like he's dead.
I'm saying he's dead. I'm saying he's long gone, wherever he is.
6 feet. Okay.
I'm putting
Go
it out
back
there.
again. 6 feet tall. Okay, 6 feet is like, on the tall-ish side. That guy's
There's no way.
taller than 6 feet. That is a tall man. Look at the proportions from his legs to the width of his shoulders, the length of his legs. That's a very tall man.
Who's the casting director for this?
I mean, just being charitable, that's a 3 inches taller man at least.
Maybe the other Joe Biden, got sick that day, or his wife died, that actor died, and they're like, we need another Joe Biden quick. And then this one showed up like, oh my God, just forget it.
Well,
People believe everything. Send him out.
If you have a guy who's the president and he's known to be of poor health, there's probably going to be times where he's supposed to make a public appearance. That's not that important, but it's important to just show his face. Well, you got to keep him in a hospital bed somewhere.
No. I mean, I have a feeling that he croaked it when he was in Vegas. They had that emergency, and they covered it up as much as they could. They took him to the Walter Reed Hospital and everything. I don't think he made it out alive. They came out with some clones, and they took over. And you can see the stupidity and the way this country went to shit for 4 years. I will never get those 4 years back in my life. Those are 4 years that went to shit. And I don't know, man. This just keep it moving. I want to finish the show quick. So let's see what this is about.
Welcome back to Take Up Political Panel Time. Let me introduce Democratic strategist Lori Watkins, Republican strategist Mark Bednar. Great to have you both here. So Zohran Mamdani and the president hung out again. And all week in New York, there's been this internet conversation about the snowball fight and the police are really upset about that. I was so waiting for the president to jump on that, but he didn't. He keeps giving Zohran Mamdani a lot of free passes. How do you assess that?
Well, hanging out, I think, is a really great way to put it. That's part of the Trump coalition. You're expanding, into unlikely opportunities, unlikely alliances. And I think it's really kind of putting to rest, at least for now, kind of the predictions, the sugar rush at the time when a lot of Republicans predicted that Mamdani is going to be the face of Republican attack ads in the fall.
Right.
And I think
that's sort of died down, hasn't it? Immediately.
And if you're a Republican-leading voter who's not sure if you're going to jump in the midterms, if you know who Mamdani is, you're already coming out to vote.
Right.
And so I think that this is an opportunity for the president. It's an opportunity for the country. It's an opportunity for New York. And so we'll see where it goes.
Lori?
So when you saw Mamdani call him a builder, right? Trump a builder. I thought this was a masterclass in being able to take a person with narcissistic tendencies and use narcissistic fluffing to be able to turn that interaction around to get what you want. He got him to agree to release an ICE detained victim from a center, right? Exactly. And he also cajoled him into supporting $21 billion towards a 12,000 apartment unit housing project in Queens. So I would say that Mamdani had more of a win than Donald Trump did.
And it
Masterclass.
probably didn't hurt to talk about Queens with President Trump.
Right. But he is a builder, though.
He was born.
Right.
So we like to remember on the show things that are said that are meaningful at a time in the future. And we have a classic incident of that. In December, NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman was here, and we talked about his ambitious plans to send U.S. astronauts to the moon. Listen what he said in December. 2028, United States astronauts back on the moon. Is that aspirational or a guarantee?
Oh, I'm looking to pull those timelines in. The president says we got to return American astronauts by 2028, but we're just months away from sending American astronauts around the moon for the first time in more than a half a century. We're going to do everything we can to pull in those timelines.
Your host was onto something aspirational, because it was an aspiration, but it's not going to be realized. NASA announced that today. Here's part of what the administrator said about what is going to happen instead.
We're gonna rightfully put our energy towards Artemis 2. There's a lot to learn from that. Believe it or not, the experiences of that crew, what they learn, what they may find, could inform the crew we select for Artemis 3. So we're going to focus on Artemis 2. We're going to get
This
that,
is all
that crew
fake.
back safely. We're going to learn from it, and then we're going to move on
Bullshit.
to Artemis 3.
Artemis
It's
2
all
is
bullshit.
a
If you believe that, I have plenty of bridges to sell you in
Earth
Connecticut.
to test some things out before sending them to go around the moon in orbit, come back, before going there to land. My only point about all this is
Stupid.
you can be gung-ho and you can have Trump time, but there are realities and there are safety checks, and you don't want to foul this up.
Of course. And but how refreshing is it that we have an administration that is aspirational and ambitious while also being realistic? Juxtapose that with, when we had astronauts languishing in space for months in the previous administration. So now that we're getting
at the
back
International Space Station.
Right. But so now that we're getting back on with our right footing, and you want to bunch up these missions so that you have better certainty, better frequency in a shorter amount of time rather than spacing them out. It's a good idea.
Yeah, but Laura, even when last December, the reason I asked that question was plenty of scientists were saying, you're not going to make it. It's not ready.
No, and what is very interesting to me, and I don't understand, I worked on the commercialization of space in the Obama administration, and I don't know why they're using more than 20-year-old technology on the Artemis when Doge efficiency, for example, right? Where's that come into play? Did you know that Speaker Johnson invited all 4 of those crew members to the State of the Union the other night? And notice that President Trump didn't speak about that mission once. All he talked about was Space Force and the fact that it costs $4.1 billion for one mission to land on the moon. When we can do that, half the cost, it's much more safer, it's much more efficient, and it's going to cost a lot less. And I don't know why they're choosing to go this route. I don't know, maybe there's contracts being handed out, but if I was a member of Congress, I would haul Isaacman in front of Congress and ask him to enlighten us on this. He's managing this program. Why is there all these delays? Why is it costing so much? And why are you choosing to use horse and buggy type technology when we're in the steam engine era here?
I'm going to give
it doesn't make sense.
30 seconds to respond to that.
It's space getting back to the moon. It's worth getting it right. Like President Trump, he wants to put on a show. He wants to display, America's might for the whole world. And
he wants to go to Mars.
And he wants to go to Mars, right? So it's worth getting right. And so if there's a slight delay,
I
and make sure that we have an excellent mission, it's worth it.
We cannot handle it. There was no mention of it in the State of the Union.
Our bodies cannot handle Mars.
They probably got some internal flags.
It wasn't going to work. I'm on emails, okay, Major, and I get these from Artemis is Lockheed Martin, right? I get emails that go into details about safety issues.
Lori, that's going to have to be it. Lori Watkins, great to have you here. Thanks so much. Mark Bednar, also great to have you here. Thank you very much.
Yeah, what I think is happening, this is what I think is happening. Okay, just bring it back to me. This is just a fucking distraction. To be honest with you, is the biggest distraction ever, and we're stuck in this vortex of stupidity, and the fact that we keep making the same fucking mistakes. First, they said all the information from all those like lunar landing and all that bullshit, all the information, all that stuff got destroyed or got deleted. There was no information and so forth. And now they're saying, oh, we're using equipment and technology from the 60s. I'm like, but how are you assuming that? Because they said all the information was gone. So I don't get it. You'd be better off shutting the fuck up and let these astronauts go to Hollywood and film their lunar landing. I think you'll have better odds in fooling the people with CGI than you do open your motherfucking mouth. Like, yes, the technology, we don't have it. And the fact that they're trying to say, oh yeah, but like the SpaceX and this and that, I don't think that's part of SpaceX. I don't think Elon Musk has anything to do with the Artemis rocket and the technology. I think Elon Musk is just the shuttle boy. And what I mean by the shuttle boy is all he does is put satellites up into space and deliver passengers to the International Space Station. That's it. That's it. You know, but they put him on a pedestal. They put him right at the top. Elon, oh. I wonder how long is the Elon list. Talk about Epstein list. How about the Elon list? Oh, Lord. All right, let's keep it moving. See what else we got here. All right, I don't know what this is, but we're going to watch it. Oh, yeah, the Will Kane show.
Fox News alert, President Trump weighing military options in Iran. Fox's Peter Doocy asked him about it this afternoon.
Is there a risk that strike could turn into a long, drawn-out conflict in the Middle East?
I guess you could say there's always a risk. You know, when there's war, there's a risk in anything, both good and bad. We've had tremendous luck with myself, Soleimani, al-Baghdadi.
Oh, that's nice. Instagram?
And then we do the Midnight Hammer. And so many.
I don't use Instagram.
Everything's worked out, and we want to keep it that
I
way.
don't even know how to use it.
Look, it'd be wonderful.
I don't even
if
know how to
they
use Facebook.
negotiate, really, in good conscience, good faith and conscience, but they are not getting there.
You remember Midnight Hammer, the operation the president mentioned. In June, the U.S. military carried out a targeted operation, successfully striking nuclear sites deep inside Iran. Fast forward to today. Here is a look at the U.S. military buildup around Iran as this fight continues. Talks wrapped yesterday without a nuclear deal. A new video from the personal account of Assistant to the President Dan Scavino shows stealth bombers right now lined up. No caption, no explanation, just the video. The U.S. has now F-22 Raptors positioned in Israel. The U.S. Embassy there is telling non-essential staff they can leave if they want to. And the USS Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier is in the Eastern Mediterranean nearing Israel. Okay, so let's head over to the wall where I'm joined by retired Army Lieutenant Colonel Chuck DeVore. All right, Chuck, let's take a look at what we have here. This is the military bases operating in and around Iran. This will tell us a bit about what the president has at his disposal when he debates what to do with Iran.
Absolutely. And in addition, as you mentioned just now, breaking news about you have American F-22s in Israel right now, which is not mentioned on your map. That is unprecedented. That also shows how America is adjusting with Britain having denied us use of their facilities, whether on Diego Garcia or on Cyprus.
Okay, this is a look at the bases operating near Iran. Now let's take a look at what we've put on the seas, put in and around Iran when it comes to naval assets in the region. And you made an interesting point. At some point, this entire thing comes about. What will Iran do if they feel like a strike is imminent?
So Iran has two options here. They can either sit back and see whether or not we're just going to try to destroy their ballistic missile and nuclear program, which they can always rebuild, or whether because of all of the unrest, the 30,000 plus people that have been killed, are we going to try to weaken the regime such that the Iranian people can successfully rise up and depose the corrupt ayatollahs that have been ruling over them since 1979. And so if you're faced with that choice, maybe you might want to try to preempt U.S. forces in the region.
And you pointed out there's Chinese intel, Chinese ships in the Arabian Sea and the Gulf of Oman who are giving targeting locations to the Iranians should, if they want to preempt something, strike an American aircraft carrier.
Absolutely. The Chinese would see that as a huge propaganda victory. And if the Chinese believe that they're going to lose Iran anyway as a key ally in the region, then the Chinese may be advising the Iranians, who, by the way, have this kind of apocalyptic vision that maybe they can bring about the end of the world through their own actions, which, by the way, is very arrogant for man to think that. But they may be playing into those delusions of grandeur that the Ayatollahs have. And so in that case, you may see the Iranians try to preempt not only to try to hit U.S. ships, but to try to hit some of those air bases before U.S. forces can take off.
Let's take a look at the nuclear facilities in Iran. So much of this is about Iran's nuclear capabilities. You have mentioned that the first point of order for the United States would be to take out anti-aircraft missiles, ballistic missile systems. But the second wave of American targets would be these nuclear sites, like the ones we hit with Midnight Hammer in Isfahan, Fordo, and Natanz.
That and or things that would weaken the regime. So you're talking about IRGC command and control, the besieged militia command and control, the apparatus of repression that the regime uses to keep the people down. And so I think what we may be seeing, and it'll likely happen at night, is with all those Starlink terminals that have been smuggled in, those beautiful Elon Musk Starlink terminals, are we going to see images of damage, of flames and destruction in the dense urban areas? Or are they going to be out in the countryside where these facilities are?
And of course, that would portend, Chuck, that we're not just trying to degrade their nuclear capabilities, but we're looking for regime change.
Correct.
Let's take a look really quickly at those missile capabilities. This is their ballistic missile range, and you can see on their most aggressive and advanced missiles, they can reach all the way into Western Europe.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that we've been trying to get our European friends and allies to pay attention to. This is a huge threat, not just to the region, right? Not just to the nations close by like Israel and Saudi Arabia, but clear out to Italy and Germany.
All right, and finally, if war is to be averted, these are the terms the United States is putting on the table. Give up all of its stockpile of highly enriched uranium, end that ballistic missile program, which we just showed you on this map, and destroy the 3 remaining sites at Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan. Is this in the realm of possibility for the Iranians? Would they ever agree to these 3 things?
I think that they would agree in air quotes. I don't think that they would ever actually implement these terms. They are far too accustomed to lying and cheating and trying to play for time. So I don't think any of this will actually happen.
Okay, that's a little bit of the wargaming that we may see as soon as this weekend, that you can understand what could be coming very soon when it comes to United States foreign policy and Iran. Chuck,
thank you.
Job. Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube.
Something's big is going to happen, and it's happening as I'm probably doing this right now. Just keep it moving.
Tonight, we're learning the Department of Justice has charged 30 more people in connection to an anti-ICE protest in a St. Paul church.
So good.
That group found out about their charges last week. Our Mary McGuire has the latest from the courthouse tonight.
There were so many defendants who made their first appearances today in federal court here in St. Paul that they couldn't all fit in the courtroom at once. So they brought them in groups of 5, many of them wearing the same clothes that they were arrested in this morning. Now, the people who took part in this are calling it a protest, while the government is characterizing it as an attack. Now, today, a superseding federal indictment was unsealed, charging 39 people in total in connection to the city's church protest last month. That includes the names that we have heard before: activist and attorney Nikemi Levy-Armstrong and independent journalist Don Lemon and Georgia Fort. This indictment charges all of those 39 individuals with the violations of the Klan and the FACE Act, which prohibits people from intimidating or interfering with the right of religious freedom at a place of worship. It does shed some new light about how all of this was planned, saying participants promoted the protest on Facebook and Instagram, and that organizers visited the area in the days before the demonstration to plan out what would take place. Federal authorities say 26 people in all were arrested today, with some arrests happening as far away as North Dakota and New York. 4 people are still reportedly at large as of this afternoon. True North Legal, who is representing City's Church, released a statement calling the City's Church protest an invasion, saying it put congregants and children in fear for their lives. They added they are grateful the DOJ is enforcing federal law to protect churches and other places of worship. Now, all of those defendants who made their first appearances today were also released from custody today. The only condition that the judge imposed on them was that they stay off the block of City's Church in St. Paul. Mary McGuire, Fox 9.
Okay, let's keep it moving. That's an add-on. So let's set it up real quick, put up the sound.
Of the year, Don Lemon. Hits such as black people pull up your pants, teeth are a weapon versus rape, and white people are out to get me. Kyle's got a gun, and the 2-finger shuffle. Find these and more in Sounds of a Lemon, the worst journalist of all time.
Damn, that's crazy. He is the worst
Every
journalist
single day we are out fighting the information war, and I often think to myself as we are battling idiots on X, what a privilege it is to have enemies like this.
That's good.
These are our enemies. When we talk about Somali fraud, this is exactly the kind of person that I'm talking about. And this is Nasra Ahmed explaining to all the world what her Somali people stand for. and why they are the best and the brightest, and why we have to bring over infinity numbers of them.
I'm proud to be Somali. To me, being Somali isn't just eating bananas with rice.
It's
a lot.
We can pick up on the fact that you're Somali. We could.
It's
You weren't
it's an
hiding that
interesting
very well.
thing. It's very hard to describe what it means to be Somali
We'll
and
try.
what it means to be American.
What?
But
How would you do
it's
it,
like
Nasra?
a cultural fusion. It's kind of like the bananas and rice. You know, people don't really
Look at the guy
see,
behind her.
like, you know,
the big one in the back
oh,
on the
you can
left.
eat bananas with rice, but
Look at his
that's
face.
what it's like to be Somali and American. It's like that combination of banana and rice.
Rice.
But you're gonna get what I mean.
She has negative IQ and set back whatever you think the Somali issue is 1,000 years.
Right.
And it's an ancient civilization. So that's kind of hard to do. My favorite part of this video is one, she like explaining to everyone as though we were wondering that she's Somali.
So I'm Somali. I'm proud to be Somali.
We weren't able to figure that out, actually. And then the public defender, the like Chinese obese public defender behind her, look at his face. Dude is dying inside. It's like, I gotta defend this. Anyway, they're idiots. These are our enemies, and they're really dumb. And Nasra, as soon as she, like literally hours after that press conference, gets arrested by Homeland Security for assaulting federal agents. Who is Nasra Ahmed? Bananas and Rice Girl. She was arrested for resisting federal agents, spitting on them and assaulting them. As legend has it, there were little pieces of banana and rice when she spit on them. Whatever. The point is that these people are imbeciles. And Don Lemon is the ringleader of all of them, actually. Don Lemon is now being sued over storming the Minnesota church, and that's because, well, not only did he put it all on camera,
hugging his kid, and you know, I imagine it's uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here. But again, careful. It's that's what protesting is about.
it's about traumatizing children, says Don Lemon. Absolute, again, literal IQ, space, black hole, right? Like, not intelligent, putting all of his crimes on camera. Don Lemon putting all of his crimes on camera. And then when Harmy Dillon comes on my show and says he better not have done this as a racial hate crime, goes out and does this interview.
You're a Christian and only if you're a white male, pretty much. And so, yeah, I absolutely 100%, but it's an intimidation tactic. And, you know, I said, I don't understand how I've become the face of it when I was a journalist. It comes from a supremacy, a white supremacy.
Got it. Okay, so you attack the church because of white supremacy. Well, anyway, he's being sued by the parishioners. I mean, I got to tell you, this is how they got Alex Jones, and this is how they're going to get Don Lemon, man. I'm not sure about the federal case. The federal case will be one thing or another, but a woman who claims to have been attending the church service in Minnesota, covered by Don Lemon, is suing Lemon and other protesters, saying that she suffered severe emotional distress as a result of the incident.
Yeah, that is.
This is how they get you, man.
Win too.
In court documents obtained by TMZ, Anne Duquette claims that she was attending the worship service when Don Lemon unlawfully entered and disrupted her free ability to practice in a place of worship. This is gonna hurt.
She's gonna win that one. She'll win that case.
It's bad. They're such idiots. Breaking today, 39 individuals now face charges for the invasion of the city's church. The superseding indictment is brutal. We just read through it. It includes Don Lemon. Oh, yikes. Here we go.
Legal news just in that controversial federal indictment of Don Lemon, another independent journalist, and several participants in an anti-ICE protest at a church in Minnesota last month. The DOJ has put together a superseding indictment modifying this case. MS Now legal affairs reporter Fallon Gallagher is here with us. What are the details, Fallon?
Yeah, Anna, we have very few details at this point because this indictment remains under seal, but we know that the DOJ has to return a new superseding indictment in the case involving Don Lemon because the DOJ filed a motion asking the judge to unseal that. So we have yet to see the contents of this indictment.
The superseding indictment just means that they got him on more stuff. Yikes.
He's in
Justice
trouble.
Department unsealed an indictment. 30 more people have been charged and arrested, 25 arrested today. You cannot attack a house of worship. If you do so, you cannot hide from us. We'll find you and arrest you, and we'll prosecute you. Well, well, well. 30 more individuals. You cannot attack a house of worship. Well done. Don Lemon is sued by the parishioners. Now, these are civil suits. These are the ones that can really hurt and bleed you dry. DOJ files motion in superseding indictment on the case. It's not going to work out well for Don Lemon. Got to tell you. I mean, will he end up in prison? Will he end up bankrupt for somebody like Don Lemon, who's 60, dressed like he's 16?
But definitely could sue him.
It's not going to be pretty. There you go. Churchgoers present at Lemon's storming of the church has sued him and other rioters for severe emotional distress as a result of the incident.
Yeah, I would have sued him too.
9 more people are arrested. I don't know, man. What is the superseding indictment? What's that going to be? The indictment said Don Lemon oppressed, threatened, and intimidated the church's congregants, the pastors physically occupying most of the main aisle, rows, and chairs near the front of the church. The indictment also alleges that Don Lemon physically obstructed the congregants and attempted to exit and or move about the church. Don Lemon live streamed his crimes, making him as dumb as the bananas and rice girl.
Wow.
Yikes. Superseding indictment means they found more evidence and they can charge him more aggressively than the original.
Yeah, because it's video.
Oof.
They took video.
Dude is toast.
They're going to use it against
Dude
him.
is toast. But I think, actually, and this is Harmeet Dillon just seconds ago saying, 26 arrested, 4 to go. This is incredible work in the afternoon done by law enforcement partners. No one is above the law. You. I mean, at least it proves that, or at least maybe if you're going to jail in Minnesota, Don Lemon would go to jail in Minnesota, maybe they serve bananas and rice. I don't know. Never been to jail in Minnesota. Don't plan on going to Minnesota anytime soon.
Hell no.
But maybe that's us.
I got no business in Minnesota. What the fuck is in Minnesota? I don't know what's over there. What is Minnesota famous for? Crickets? I don't know. All right, let's see what else we got here. All right, I'm going to next BP Earthwatch.
February the 27th, 2026. Guys, I won't make this video long because there's been several videos, just to the point if I can, because in the last video we were looking at in one section a map that showed Israel lit up in red along with the West Bank. We were talking about the different proxies of Iran that was all around them at that point. And what would happen? Would they be part of that surge if the Ayatollahs or Iran was attacked too hard and they decided to push that button, the red line button that we talked about, where they would attack every target at one time with everything they had? Well, what has happened is Israel is not stupid. Regardless of what anything else people think about them, they attacked preemptively, which you should do. If you know you're going to be attacked, what happened first thing this morning? The Jerusalem embassy was ordered to be evacuated except for essential personnel and as many people to get out on as many flights as they could. Then we saw that extend out. And so the reason is because they knew that the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, were going to do this. They knew that, and this would bring retaliation. So it's an attack, kind of a simultaneous attack from the U.S. and Israel on the forces coming in. And people say, this is not the Gog-Magog war, and I'm not saying it is for sure. But when you start seeing the hillsides like this and talk about things like Mount Carmel melting, then it's time to wake up. It's time to be aware. I'm not a date setter at all, but I look for signs, not to be looking, but when they're thrown in your face, I'm not going to ignore it, neither should you. So as a war with Iran nears, Hezbollah in Lebanon and the Taliban in Afghanistan are targets of attack. Think about this. It's spreading throughout the entire territory, basically, of what we talked about in the Old Testament. The war with Iran appears near, then suddenly two terrorist regimes are bombed. Why? Because they were a part of the Iranian proxies. Any fool would know that they're going to come in with everything they got. Are you going to sit there and let them tear you up? Or are you going to go out there and make them as weak as possible? Exactly. Again, it's saying as the war with Iran appears near. Look at the early reports today coming in. You call that, I call that very near, by the way. So it says the war with Iran appears near, then suddenly two terrorist regimes are bombed. Taliban in Afghanistan and Hezbollah in Lebanon. This was not unexpected with the war with Iran heating up. Hezbollah was a satellite entity built with the help of Iran. Of course it was. Hezbollah, the Houthis, Hamas, along with Hamas and the Houthis in Yemen, were built by Iran and would be expected to support Iran in any conflict with the U.S. or Israel. Hamas in Gaza is no longer a threat. And a lot of people lost their lives in that conflict. Guys, I'm not pro-war by any means. I'm reporting what I'm finding out and telling you the best I can. So don't attack me for being a Zionist or anti-this or anti-that. This is the real world, and this is what's happening. And by the way, I'm not a Zionist. I believe in the U.S. taking care of home. Anyway, Hezbollah had tight relations with Maduro regime in Venezuela. These related entities have been decimated since Trump's second term in office and were responsible for massive bloodshed and abuse for decades. Guys, and then you think about all the billions and trillions of our hard-earned taxpayer dollars as prices go up that are being stolen by Cuba, Russia, Somalia, and the Democrats, and probably some rhinos. It says the skies of Lebanon are lit up. This is breaking. The Israeli Air Force is striking Hezbollah weapon storage sites right now, a calculated move to eliminate as many rockets as possible before the next phase begins. It's a chess move. It's a game of war. And so if you ask me, Iran knew it was coming. All their proxies knew it. All the H's, Hezbollah, Hamas, Houthis, the triple H's, we'll call that. They knew it. Everybody knew it. 15 nations told everybody to evacuate today. We saw what was going on. So why would they not strike first? Maybe it's because a lot of the damage being done in Iran, in Tehran, and all the sites I showed you in that map today, and it's been going on really for a couple of weeks. Maybe that has weakened their positions and their intelligence communication. You understand what I'm saying? And because the fact that they knew it was going to happen, they're getting hit now. And don't think that the IDF did not know where they were at. It's just like the U.S. via satellite.
They know every movement.
Exactly where Maduro was. And as I said, guys, this isn't random. This is preemption. If the U.S. escalates against Iran, Hezbollah is expected to respond by unleashing rockets on northern Israel. Happens all the time. Israel isn't waiting. They're dismantling launch capacity before it can be used. This is the chessboard shifting in real time. That's what I'm saying, guys. Mainstream, maybe before daylight, they will look into this, or maybe they've been told to stand down. There are probably some reports coming through now, but there's a way to look into that area, guys. You got the Middle East reports and things like that, different newspapers, different sources of information. And some U.S. outlets that are very conservative are starting to notice it also. Now, it's 7:17 p.m. here in central Mississippi tonight, and so it's just about the opposite. It's getting daylight, if it's not daylight there in the Middle East.
All right, I want to add something, because this is my show, BP Earthwatch. I have thoughts and I have to share. You know, the next full moon we have, you know, it's a blood moon. It's a blood moon. And I really feel like this aggression, the way it's kind of like sending this energy out into space and out into the ether, and it's kind of like a call. So we're gonna be seeing weird spacecrafts all around the world. Okay, back in the days in the World War Ones and World War Twos, they would call them Foo Fighters. They were Foo Fighters, not the music group. Music group is great too. Don't get it twisted. They're good too. Foo Fighters are pretty cool. Good music. But these Foo Fighters were they didn't come from far. Let's put it that way. These crafts, they come from beyond a great big wall. And we're not allowed to go there. You know what I'm talking about. Antarctica. They come from there. They are from there. And not only that they're from there, they have bases all around the world. And it's very deep underground. And the fact that they think, like, we think we have so much control and we have so much power. In reality, we got shit. Like, looking from space and looking downwards, you guys are like nothing. We're nothing. A little bomb that goes off, it's like a little spark. Many people will die from that little spark, but from up above, you're nothing. We're all nothing. You know what I mean? We're hitching a ride on a rock that constantly rotates, and there's going to be a day that we're going to die. There, I told you your life story. But I feel like there's something watching us. And they're constantly watching us. And the fact that the US has futuristic weapons has the world on edge. You know, because it's not going to just be the United States versus Iran. No. You got Hezbollah. You got all these, all of the epoxies out all around the Middle East are going to start wreaking havoc. Like the Taliban, and, you know, it's just, and then is this the Great War? This is the World War III, the war of all wars, where the United States will be distracted with Iran, and that'll give a perfect opportunity for China to invade Taiwan with the help of North Korea. It just makes you wonder, you know, because it's like chess. It's the world chess, you know. That's how kingdoms have been conquered way before our times. They just go and just take that bitch. And that's it. Just like what the English did with the US. We took this bitch from Mexico. We took it from the natives. But I'm not going to sit here and play Billie Eilish. I ain't got time for that. She's stupid. We live on stolen land. Bitch, you living on stolen land. On top of that, you're $3 million, how many $1 million, and your horses and all that bullshit is in stolen land. You know, like I feel like, you know, and the thing is that Justin Bieber tried to save that girl. He tried to save that girl, and that girl just went straight into the deep. You know, and she's deep within the Hollywood, and you know, she has that look, you know, that demonic look. So they're gonna love that. They put her on a pedestal. But this world has so much distractions, and there's so many things going on. Like today, they did that stupid bullshit with Bill Clinton, where they pretty much questioned the shit out of him, and he lied pretty much under oath. And Hillary did too, but she wants to play the games like, yeah, the Republicans was just repeating the same thing to me, and it felt like they repeated to me like 17 times, like the same thing. Maybe they were repeating themselves 17 times because your dumbass wasn't answering 17 times. How about that? You were dancing around the question. That's why they kept repeating it to get you to answer. But the Democrats will paint it a different picture, and they'll make the Republicans look stupid. And the demon rats, that's what they are, demon rats. They want control of the demon earth. We have a little shine of a little crack of light we have at the moment with Trump. A crack of light. That's all we need. A little beacon. But they trying to take that beacon away from us. They're trying to go after us. And the left is very aggressive. The deep left is super aggressive. I just want the fucking world to blow up. Okay? So let World War III start. I want to see it. Let it fucking happen. You know, whatever happens, happens. What the fuck are we gonna do? We ain't doing jack shit. I'm be here reporting on it. That's all I'm gonna do. The fuck I'm gonna do? I'm fucking disabled. I could help. I could help. There's certain ways I could help, but they gotta call me. They got my number. You understand? I was in the army, so you know, logistics, not bad. The body's fucked up, but the mind is still running. How about that? I'm pretty good psychic, and I use really good. I astral project, and I see things. I hear things. That's what started my show years ago. That's what I used to do. You go back and watch, you'll see. You're like, oh shit, this show was like totally different back in the days. Like, yep, yes, it was. It has more gotten into the media stream of it because we have to pay attention to what's going on in the world too. And I'm feeling the energy is just so hyped at the moment. It's like I have this sense of fear. Like, and it's the energy. And it's not me. I ain't motherfucking scared. But I feel like the world is on edge. And what's going to happen will be written in textbooks. And kids, 6 generations in the future, will be reading upon what happened here during this timeline. That's fucking awesome. I hope they watch my show. Please like and subscribe, even though I'm not alive. You can still fucking like and subscribe, bitch. All right, guys. Let's keep it moving. Oh, we got what the fuck is this? Okay, we gotta watch this. It's the Mamdani guy again.
The project that Mayor Zohran Mamdani pitched President Donald Trump on was transforming the Sunnyside rail yard here into an entirely new neighborhood. And we were able to press the mayor about if he thinks the president will actually follow through on helping the city and if this is the best way to spend $21 billion.
We put forward a proposal to build more housing in a single project than the city has seen since 1973. And not just housing, but also parks, also childcare, also hospitals, an entire new neighborhood.
Mayor Zohran Mamdani continues to leverage a cordial relationship with President Donald Trump, despite deep political differences, to push forward projects that could benefit New Yorkers in the long run. He presented the president with a proposal, complete with a newspaper mock-up, to spend $21 billion transforming the Sunnyside rail yard. It would be similar to the Hudson Yards project, covering old train infrastructure, except with a huge affordable housing component of up to 12,000 apartments. If President Trump does indeed support something like this, it would certainly be a change after working to hold back local infrastructure like the Gateway Tunnel and the 2nd Avenue subway expansion. What assurances did the president give you that he would follow through, especially given that he has worked to actually defund some of the major infrastructure projects of the tri-state area?
So the president shared his interest in the proposal, and I am encouraged by the fact that we will continue to talk about this proposal. It is going to be a long process.
Mamdani says this housing proposal grew out of the cordial meeting just prior to him taking office, where he and the president agreed that the mayor would come back with something big they could work on together. Why bring this one forward when it's so cost intensive to cover the rail yard? Could billions not be used better to build more housing elsewhere?
The reason to focus on this one specifically is in a city where we know that land is so precious and so finite. Here lies an opportunity to create more of it by creating the largest rail deck the world has ever seen.
Mayor Mamdani concedes that getting this project rolling would take years, even if President Trump said, yes, let's start tomorrow. And President Trump hasn't spoken with reporters about his level of follow through on this yet following the meeting. And by the way, the mayor said that naming this project, the president's always a fan of naming things after himself, did not come up in the meeting. In Queens, Henry Rossoff, Pix 11 News.
I'm pretty sure they'll name it after Trump after a certain amount of time because the world respects Trump, man. They love Trump. And Mamdani, he's a Trump fan. You know that. Like he's the flip-flopper. I call him the flip-flopper. He reminds me of a sandal. That's what he is, a sandal. The problem with that is you got to do environmental tests. You got to understand there's trains been running there for decades and decades and decades, way before Mamdani and me and everyone here. And you got to make sure the grounds are okay to even build or even have parks on. And that's just, I just feel like this is a project that they put a certain price and it's going to come out like 3 times more than what they said it was going to be. And that's the pitfall. That's the money trap. They always fall for the money trap. They say they put a certain a date that it should be done, project should be done. They'll put a certain price tag to it, but then you have to get the resources. And that takes time. That takes money. And the way the market has been working, it's not been really good for building. Okay. We're about to go at war. Okay. I don't think building a whole facility place is not feasible right now. It's a great idea. I think it's a good idea, right? But you have to pass all this environmental tests, Mamdani. You can't just fucking go balls deep and do whatever the fuck you want and then think that it's going to be the price that you say it's going to be, because it's not. It never is, especially in New York City. Are you fucking kidding me? Ask Trump. He has built many places and many buildings in New York City. All right, let's see what else we got here. All right, we're going to jump into a couple of Tyson de la Cruz. Let's go ahead and watch, set it up. Here we go for a back-to-back Tyson de la Cruz.
About 40 demonstrators filled council chambers, demanding the city close the Portland Ice Building, something council has said would take years.
What the hell?
America, those protesters just shut down a Portland City Council meeting. Again, the agenda, deciding how to spend tens of millions of unspent housing funds. The result, meeting postponed because 4 people decided their tantrum was more important than housing the homeless.
Portland's downtown real estate market continues its free fall. Records show the city's largest office buildings are worth a fraction of what they were worth before the pandemic.
Portland's downtown just lost $2 billion in property value. The same people disrupting meetings about housing funding are the reason businesses are fleeing.
Yeah, Tim, a CVS spokesperson told me March 5th will be the last day for this store. People I spoke to today who were going in and out of the store tell me they're frankly not surprised.
What is up, guys? Tyson de la Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Let me show you how Portland has become a case study on what happens when you let professional activism run a city into the ground. Literally. Let me start with the economic devastation that nobody wants to talk about, because these numbers are absolutely brutal here.
Records show the city's largest office buildings are worth a fraction of what they were worth before the pandemic.
In 2019, Portland topped 20 office buildings worth a combined $3 billion. At the end of 2025, $986 million. That's a 70% wipeout in 6 years. Not during a crazy war, not during a natural disaster, during peacetime, under Democrat leadership that prioritizes ideology over business. And it gets even worse, guys. The assessed value, what the county actually taxes for, dropped from $1.2 billion to $890 million. That is a 25% hit to the tax base.
The Fox Tower lost nearly $54 million in taxable value between 2019 and today. Montgomery Park lost almost $50 million. Standard Commerce lost more than $35 million in taxable value. Pac West lost more than $30 million.
That city is
That's a
going
combined
downhill.
$170 million loss in taxable value between just 4 buildings.
Now, let me put this in perspective for those of you that don't necessarily know what that means, and let me explain it. The tax base collapses. The city has 2 choices here: cut services or raise taxes for whoever's left. Guess which one Portland chose? Now, let me show you what a $2 billion in lost property value actually looks like on the street level.
Yeah, Tim, a CVS spokesperson told me March 5th will be the last day for this store here right across the street from Pioneer Square. People I spoke to today who were going in and out of the store tell me they're frankly not surprised it's closing.
CVS is closing right across the street from Pioneer Courthouse Square, Portland's quote-unquote living room, and residents aren't surprised. But chat, this isn't new. Target left this area in 2023, citing crime and theft was the leading cause. Now CVS is following suit. When your downtown can't even keep a pharmacy and a Target open.
No police.
You don't have a downtown anymore. You have an open-air homeless shelter that businesses are fleeing from.
About 50 new retail businesses opened downtown in 2025, up from roughly 39 in 2024. Foot traffic is also on the rise.
Portland downtown clean and safe is celebrating what 50 new retail businesses opened. You know what they didn't mention here? How many actually closed? Because when CVS and Target are leaving, the quote unquote new businesses and their probable pop-up taco stand and vape shops are definitely not anchor retailers here. And foot traffic is on the rise, they say. Okay, foot traffic of homeless people. That's what that is. Now, let me show you exactly how Portland's woke policies translate into financial devastation for property owners.
A Pearl District landlord threatening to sue the city
and the Salvation Army over the Northwest Northrop shelter, claiming that the city and nonprofit have failed to live up to their promises, and now they're losing property value.
The owner of this apartment building next door to a Northwest shelter hired a private company to investigate the impact. And their findings here: sustained failure to manage predictable operations relating to externalities. Translation here: biohazards, needles floating around,
big ear. My ear just popped.
Urination,
my right
people
ear
passed out, and the cost, the building
really
dropped
deep
$5
sound.
million in value directly
Hey,
because
Tyson,
the
I gotta put you on
shelter's
pause for a
operation,
second.
not because.
Sorry about that, Tyson. I got this really strong like pop in my right ear, like a real like pressure, like it felt like a pressure bomb. Are we breaking out war right now? Because my ear, like, that was serious. That was really strong. That was very, very strong. Let me see. I'm not seeing anything, but holy shit, that was loud in my ear. Let's see. I'm just trying to see if there's anything. There's some people talking about some stuff, but a lot of people talking about the Jim Carrey stuff. He didn't even look like Jim Carrey. It looked like somebody else. Like it looked like literally looked like somebody else. It's just so weird. So weird. I'm just seeing there's just a lot of shit. This one US evacuates from Iran. Trump's urgent warning. What the Bible says. So I guess this is a religious channel. You got people praying. You got another guy here praying. Okay, well, there's a lot of people praying tonight. It's a good thing. We need more and more of that in these days. You're going to need a lot more because how things are going, I'm telling you. But I don't see nothing really breaking, but that was a loud sound. It had me checking to see if there's anything like crazy going on. So far, I'm not seeing too much of the cray. But okay, let's go back to Tyson.
Because of market forces, not because of a pandemic, because the city opened a low barrier shelter next door and refused to manage the chaos. This, my friends, is what compassion in Portland looks like when it's translated into policies. You open up a shelter with literally no requirements, no enforcement, no consequences, and the surrounding property owners lose millions and millions of dollars while residents deal with human waste, human crap on the sidewalks. But when the landlord threatens to sue if conditions don't improve, Keith Wilson says these claims ignore the clear reality that homelessness existed before the shelter opened. Okay. So the building losing $5 million in value and being surrounded by biohazards and literal crap is just coincidental here. Now, let me introduce you to the people making this all extremely worse. Because while businesses are collapsing and property values are cratering into the abyss, Portland has a dedicated group of professional activists who show up and disrupt every attempt at governance.
One person crossed the dais to confront city leaders, forcing councilors to evacuate. Another group blocked the lobby door.
They didn't just protest here. You can see the video. They physically jumped over areas and got in the faces of council members. They blocked the lobby door to prevent people from leaving.
That's a big time safety hazard.
Of elected officials during a public meeting about housing funds. And when police showed up, 24 officers, nearly every cop on the clock, had to respond to arrest 4 people. That means other 911 calls were unanswered while these activists were throwing a temper tantrum.
Cole Donahue was one of the demonstrators arrested.
I was chanting. I was
holding space.
Along with trespassing, he's also charged with disorderly conduct.
I think it's bogus.
And meet my man Cole Donahue, arrested for trespassing and disorderly conduct. And in his own words, I was chanting, I was holding space. Okay, my man. This is his defense. He was holding space like he's at a yoga retreat by disrupting a city council meeting about homeless housing. But here's my favorite part about this whole thing. Keith Wilson pointed out that these 4 people arrested, only one was actually a Portland resident. The other 3, including Cole, who is a professional activist, by the way, are from Beaverton. So they're not even disrupting their own city. They're commuting to Portland to cause chaos. Now watch how this pattern repeats, because Cole isn't a one-time activist. He's a repeat activist. He's a professional. He has a website, professionalactivistcole.com.
No peace for Portland means no peace for Wilson. That was their anti-ICE message there. An immigrants' rights organization marching from Wilshire Park to Mayor Wilson's home, demanding he revoke the ICE facility's permit to operate in South Portland. The mayor did not appear to be home.
They marched from Wilshire Park to the mayor's home, not to the city hall, not to a protest location, to his house. No peace for Portland means no peace for Wilson. That's not activism, my friends. It is Dr. Seuss in action. And what are they demanding? An executive order from the mayor to shut down an ICE facility. You know, the thing that city council has repeatedly said would take years and isn't in their authority. But the facts don't matter here, guys, for these professional activisms, these professional activists holding space.
You can't.
This is just another example of parachute activism, where those seeking a backdrop for their political theatrics choose Portland. Out of the 4 arrested individuals, only 1 is an actual resident of our city.
When I heard this, Wilson nailed it. Parachute activism. People from outside of Portland using the city as a backdrop for their, get this, political theater. 3 out of the 4 arrested weren't even residents. They drove from the suburbs to disrupt a meeting about homeless housing, got arrested, and went home to Beaverton. Meanwhile, Portland residents who
from the
actually
area
need city services get absolutely nothing because the meeting was postponed. Again, because Cole needed to hold space. Now, let me connect these dots, because this isn't random chaos. This is a self-reinforcing dupe of loom.
Last year, when we were putting our budget together, one of our primary problems is that we were only seeing property tax growth of $8 million year over year. And typically, we would see something like $20 million.
Portland expects $8 million in property tax growth instead of the usual $20 million. That's a $12 million annual shortfall every year, because your downtown loses $2 billion in value. The tax revenue evaporates. So what happens? The obvious answer here, the city cuts services or raises taxes. Either way, more businesses decide to leave. Property values drop further. Tax revenue falls more. Services get cut deeper. And the spiral
happened in New York. It's happening in New York too.
America, Portland lost $2 billion in downtown property value, while professional activists like Cole from the suburbs disrupt meetings about housing the homeless. CVS joined Target in abandoning downtown. Property owners lost millions because the city opened shelters without managing the chaos. And the same protesters, literally the same people from Beaverton, keep shutting down the government functions that might actually help. This, my friends, is activist utopia in practice. Demand services without enforcement, open up shelters without standards, protect disruption as speech, vilify businesses as greed, and when property values crater into the earth's core and companies flee, blame capitalism instead of the policies that destroyed the economic viability. Cole thinks that he's holding space for justice. He's actually holding space for Portland's complete economic collapse. Every meeting that these people disrupt is a meeting where housing funds can't get allocated. Every protest at the mayor's home is a signal to businesses that Portland is ungovernable. Every dollar of lost property value is a dollar less for the services that he claims to care about. The doom loop is complete. Bad policy drives out businesses, lost tax revenue, services get cut, more protests, worse policies, more business exodus. And through all that, professional activists from Beaverton get to feel morally superior while actual Portland residents suffer the consequences. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
We're going to the next one. So let's not hesitate and go straight to it.
These individuals are associated with a gang known as the Family Mob, individuals with long histories of drug and violent crimes, including murder.
America, the FBI just busted a gang in his backyard that was distributing enough fentanyl to kill every man, woman, and child in Minnesota twice.
Since the 1990s, this gang has conspired to deliver deadly narcotics to our neighborhoods. I would venture to say one of the largest law enforcement operations the city has seen.
Translation, they knew about it for decades and did nothing until the bodies started piling up.
At the close of business today, we expect that 12 defendants, most with violent criminal histories, will have been taken into custody.
What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Let me show you how Minnesota's progressive leadership let a gang operate for 30 years while they virtue signal about police reform. Let me start with the comedy gold, which is the gang's branding. Most drug organizations go for intimidating names like MS-13, the Bloods, the Crips. These guys, they went for the Family Mob. Sounds like a competitive tater tot hot dish team that takes potlucks way too seriously. But the A-list is even better. The indictment lists gang members with street names like Silk, Snake, Dread, Bebe, and Do Good.
This investigation began after 2 mass shootings in less than 12 hours along the East Lake Street corridor. And today, the FBI executing search warrants in Minneapolis, Bloomington, Brooklyn Park, Richfield, and St. Paul. 5 of them are facing federal charges, and 7 of them are facing state charges.
With Silk, Snake, and Dread sound like a failed 90s R&B trio that reunited to sell meth instead of albums. They probably would have gotten away with it too if they wouldn't have named themselves after villains in a straight-to-DVD Steven Seagal movie. But chat, here is where the joke stops. The feds arrested 12 people in a pre-dawn SWAT raids across Minneapolis, Bloomington, Brooklyn Park, Richfield, St. Paul, and Brunsville. 5 faced federal charges that could mean life in prison. 7 more got hit with state charges.
SWAT teams swarmed the homes of suspected members of the gang called the Family Mob. As our Frankie McLister reports, investigators say that gang not only peddled deadly drugs, but they also triggered at least 2 mass shootings.
2 mass shootings, 10 people shot, 2 dead. And this was just the quote-unquote breaking point that finally got the law enforcement to move on them, which raises some obvious questions here. What the heck took so long? Here's what they're not telling you. This gang operated since the late 1990s. That is over 25 years. Running what prosecutors described as a de facto open-air drug market at Lake Street and Park Avenue. They used force to push out their competition, their, opposing drug dealers, and claim territory as their own.
Those standing next to the police chief confirming that hundreds of officers were involved in seizing firearms, fentanyl, cocaine, meth, crack, and even cash and vehicles across the metro. On Wednesday, this video taken by a witness where the FBI says that one was detained in Burnsville, and our cameras were rolling when the FBI executed this operation at the Abbott Apartments in South Minneapolis.
An open-air drug market. That means people are openly buying and selling fentanyl on the streets of Minneapolis, and nobody did anything about it until federal agents had to step in. Where was Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hare? Where was Mayor Jacob Frey? Where was Governor Timmy Tampon Walsh? Oh, wait, I know where Walsh was. He was letting Minneapolis burn during the George Floyd riots in 2020, refused to call the National Guard for days and let his city get destroyed and burned. He let Somalia communities steal hundreds and billions of dollars from taxpayer revenue. How funny, when it comes to protecting actual law-abiding citizens from drug dealers and gang violence, none of these people are anywhere to be found.
The breaking in the case came after 2 Minneapolis mass shootings last September, both that happened within a 12-hour time frame.
10 people were injured by gunfire. 2 individuals lost their lives.
It took two mass shootings to finally get the authorities to act. Not the decade of open air drug dealing, not the violence, not the fentanyl poisoning the communities. Two mass shootings. That's the bar in Tim Walz's Minnesota. And here's the kicker. The lead defendant is Silk Lamont Davis, also known as Do Good. He's 48 years old, which means he's been doing this his entire life. He's charged with possession with intent to distribute fentanyl and cocaine. His co-defendants, Alexius German Masbu, aka Snake, Kieran Jamal Williams, Rashawn Jahal Taggett, aka Dread or Lalo, and Lendrick Darnell Gillian, aka Bebe. Now, let me show you the pattern, because this is exactly what happens when Democrat run cities into the ground with their progressive policies.
We are very pleased today as a collective law enforcement community to announce and report the dismantlement and disruption of the family mob gang and criminal enterprise network operating throughout the metropolitan area here in Minneapolis.
Notice the language. They're pleased to announce the dismantling of a gang that's been operating for 30 years. Dismantling obviously implies that they shut it down completely. But let's be completely honest here. They arrested 12 people out of an organization that's been operating for 3 decades. They built a network. You think those are the only people? This is the same playbook that we've seen in every Democrat-run city. Defund and demoralize police. Minneapolis literally tried to abolish their police department after 2020. Ignore open-air drug markets. Lake Street apparently has been a problem for years. Let gangs claim territory, both United States gangs and Somalia gangs. The family mob controlled an entire corridor. Wait for federal agents to clean up the mess.
Hundreds of officers were involved in seizing firearms, fentanyl, cocaine, meth, crack, and even cash and vehicles across the metro.
Hundreds of officers, multiple SWAT teams, federal agencies, all to clean up gangs that have been openly dealing drugs since Bill Clinton was president. And Minneapolis leadership, they want a medal for it. Here's what really happened. After the George Floyd meth death riots, Minneapolis became a no-go zone for effective policing. Officers quit in droves. The city council tried to abolish the police department entirely. Crime skyrocketed, and gangs like the family mob filled the vacuum.
There are additional cases being developed that I believe will impact not just open-air drug activity, but open-air drug activity that's connected specifically to violence.
Additional cases are being developed. Translation, this is just the beginning. They arrested 12 people, but the investigation revealed so much more corruption and violence that they're building additional charges to see how deep this actually goes. Let me quickly break down the 3.5 million lethal doses and what that actually means, because I don't think people completely understand the scale of what was happening under Tim Walz's watch. Minnesota's population is about 5.7 million people. The family mob distributed enough fentanyl in 7 months to kill every person in the state and still have doses left over. That is not a gang problem. That is an absolute state failure.
Individuals with long histories of drug and violent crimes, including murder.
So these weren't first-time offenders who suddenly decided to start a drug empire. These are career criminals with murder charges who kept operating because nobody stopped them. And where did all this fentanyl go? Into your communities, into your schools, into your kids, while Governor Timmy Tampon Walz was busy fighting Trump over sanctuary policies, ICE, and protecting Somalians and illegal immigrants from deportation. American citizens were dying from fentanyl, poisoned by a gang that was operating openly for 3 freaking decades.
If you're a criminal in the city of Minneapolis or in the state of Minnesota, I recommend that you don't commit crimes on the assumption that the U.S. Attorney's Office doesn't have enough lawyers. We've got enough to get you off.
Oh, and now these guys act tough. After 30 years of this gang operating, after 3.5 million lethal doses hit the streets, after 2 mass shootings, now all of a sudden the U.S. Attorney is sending warnings. Where was this energy in 1995? Where was this energy in 2005? Where was this energy in 2015? This is the Democrat playbook in action. Let crime crime absolutely spiral out of control, defund and demoralize police, virtue signal about quote unquote social justice, and then act shocked when federal agents have to step in and do the job that local leadership refused to do.
We could not have done it by ourselves.
All a collective effort that authorities say make your streets safer.
We could have not done this by ourselves. To be honest, chat, that's probably one of the most honest things they've said. Minneapolis could not have handled it because their leadership spent 5 years attacking their own police department instead of going after gangs poisoning their city. America, while I was researching this story, I came across something that perfectly captures the absurdity of Minnesota's leadership. On February 25th, 2026, the same day the FBI announced this massive bust, the Department of Justice issued a press release, and here's what it said. The family mob ruled by intimidation and violence and wrongly assumed that they could operate with impunity. DEA Special Agent Dustin Gillespie said today the combined efforts of federal, state, and local law enforcement imparted a significant blow to the drug trafficking efforts of a gang that has spread poison throughout our beloved Minneapolis community. A beloved community. That's what they call it after 30 years of a gang controlling open-air drug markets and 3.5 million lethal doses. Not
what hurts is that federal,
because fixing it would have required admitting aggressive policies failed. The family mob sold drugs openly on Lake Street for 3 decades, and nobody stopped them until federal agents showed up. That's not law enforcement failure. That's leadership failure. And Tim Walz, he owns it. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
Great upload, friend. I was like, man, it's about time. Some accountability. Like, we need some accountability. Like, what happened to accountability? Everything's just went fucking to shits. Everything went. The Biden years really fucked everything up, you know? It really, really, really fucked a lot. And now we're trying to fix what's messed up, and it's just a headache. It's nothing positive, nothing good. But we're gonna go ahead and watch the last video of the night. I'm gonna go ahead and set it up here. And in reference to the celebration of Pokemon 30-year anniversary on here on My Mind Over Your Matter. I hope you guys like the little graphics and the little video stuff that I created and put together through AI. Stay for the end of the show. It's very festive and very Pokemon. If you like Pokemon, you'll definitely love the beginning of this show and the ending of this show. But we're going to go to the last video of the show. Look, 2-hour mark. And we made it to the last video. So let's go ahead and watch and enjoy Pokemon. Let's put up the...
So your kids are using words like Pikachu and Squirtle and Bulbasaur, and you haven't got a clue what they're talking
Back
about.
in the 90s.
Welcome to the world of Pokemon. It's the Nintendo game that originated in Japan and has American children going crazy over the game itself, trading cards, and just about anything that has their favorite Pokemon character on it. In this morning's parental guidance segment, we hope to decipher what is Pokemon all about. Nicholas Meyer is 12. He's a big Pokemon fan. And Chris Byrne is the editor of the weekly newsletter, The Toy Report, and they're both here to give us a hand. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. So, first of all, Nick, what is Pokemon? Did I say it right?
Yep.
Okay. What is it?
You got it. Pokemon is a game where you go around a big world and you're trying to collect all these animals called Pokemon, which means pocket monsters in Japanese. And the big thing that you're trying to become is a Pokemon master.
You, the player, you're playing this thing and you're trying to master these little monsters or train these little monsters?
You try to train them and you try to evolve them and you try and make them stronger. and you do that through battling, and they gain things called experience points, and that measures how much they're going to grow after a battle.
Okay, well, we want to introduce you to some of them. So we start with Pikachu.
Yep.
What is his special power?
Pikachu is a lightning Pokemon. He can shoot lightning bolts, and he has various lightning moves, like Thunder Shock.
Okay, what about those other three that I mentioned? Let me see, what were they named? Squirtle, Charmander,
He's
and
probably out there
Bulbasaur. Did I have that right? And Squirtle
trying to grab a
shoots
whole
water.
bunch of cards.
How about the other two?
Charmander shoots fire, and Bulbasaur
Water.
can shoot out vines. Is one of his
vines.
Moves. Yep, it's called vine.
Bulbasaur.
Chris, you're laughing over here.
Well, it's great. I mean, the thing about it that's really great is that it really is storytelling. And the whole fantasy of Pokemon is storytelling with the kids as the stars, the center, because kids like Nicholas are becoming
He's a writer.
Pokemon masters.
Well, a lot of people think that these video games have got to be violent, and these guys are fighting, but they're not violent.
They're really not. They're trying to evolve, and they're testing out their powers as they get more powers and move up to other levels.
Yep, the two trainers that are battling are cooperating, trying to get their both of their Pokemon to evolve.
Okay, well, we've got some videotape, so let's play the tape, and we're going to see what a screen, and kids are playing it. And Nick, you tell me what's going on as we see this. Can you? We have a camera somewhere. Okay, there you go. Can you see what's going on?
Yep. Right now,
Video
Ash
game.
has just gotten into a battle with a Pidgey, and this is a battle screen. This is where or in this case, you are trying to capture a wild Pokemon, and you cannot capture Pokemon that other trainers already own.
Okay, something came shooting out of that Bulby and hit the green thing. So was that a capture?
No, you have to try and weaken the other Pokemon before you can capture it in something called a Pokeball, which you use to carry your Pokemon and capture them.
Okay, if you get one and you've got it, is it dead?
No.
Or they just faint, or what happens?
They're fainted, and they have usually have very low life. But you can go to something called a Poke Center and re-energize them, and all your Pokemon become have full health and full life, and they're perfect.
Chris, what is it about this game that's got kids so almost addicted?
Well, there's a couple of things. First of all, it's collectability, because they want to collect everything. For example, the cards from Wizards of the Coast. This is a hologram card, and it comes.
Oh my
with a
God! You
package
know how
for
much
about
that fucking
$18
card is
now. You
worth?
get $9. You pay $9 for the game, so you get
Holy
double your money. But
shit!
it's also social.
He's just holding it with no
Kids are playing
plastic,
it together,
no cover?
and then there's the whole idea of mastery, as you're hearing from Nicholas. It's like all understanding how these people do it, and then, as I said, it's about storytelling. It's really about creating a world.
And there's a strategy there. Have you become a master yet, Nick?
No, I've collected 120 Pokemon.
120?
Yeah.
I heard you had a whole collection. Your little brother kind of nuked it once by hitting the wrong button.
Yep.
Do you forgive him?
Yeah, I
Do
do.
you want to say hi?
Hi, Mix.
I guess you forgive him. Thanks so much, both of you.
Well, that was from back in the day, Pokemon. Yeah, it's interesting. 30 years later, I got a lot of products to open up. I'm collecting it not only for me, it's not really for me, it's for my niece. So when if I'm gone, then she's gonna inherit it. And if I make it to her graduation, then I would like to help her out with a new car. And use the Pokemon to at least try to level up, and go after the rarities of the sets, because there's a lot of sets coming out. Holy shit. I put it, like I said in the beginning of the show, I put in an order, a pre-order for the new set that's going to be coming out next month on March 27th, I believe. And it's the Perfect Order Pokemon. It's a new set. They have like a Tyrus. It's like a little dinosaur promo card that I truly want. That's the card I want. And I'm going to be keeping a close lookout at Walmart. I'm going to be going there every other day, making sure, because sometimes they release it early, because they released a couple of things early they weren't supposed to release until March 27th. And early February, I got the pin, the deluxe pin collection that's over here. I got that at Walmart, and I was surprised that I was able to purchase that, and a couple of other things too that weren't supposed to be released. So I was like, "Fuck it, I got it. I'm gonna enjoy it," and I'm not gonna open it. It looks too. It looks too cute to open. Maybe if I get another one, if okay, between now and March 27th, if I'm able to get another one at Walmart, I'll get it. I'll get it, and then I'll open one of them. You know what I mean? I'd rather open a double than just one. You know, if I have just one of it, I'm like, damn, I don't want to open it unless I get a second one. I get a second one, then I'll open it, and then have another one just for like to hold on, because I want my niece to open also. You know, I want to see her when she's older, and she has to wash her hands, and you can't be touching your face and touching the fucking cards. I see that in YouTube, and it gets me so mad. Like these people are touching potential thousands of dollars possibly worth in one card. And then you have the person, like, before opening the pack, they're like this. And they're touching their heads, and they're like going all over, touching themselves. And then they get all greased up, and then they're touching the cards. Every time I open my cards, I wash my hands. I wash my hands, and then whatever comes out happens. I hope I get something tonight when I rip up this Pokemon Day 2026. I'm gonna probably do it in stages because there's 3 packs in here, and I cannot open 3 packs fast. I have too much things around me and flames that I can't do it like that. So I'll probably break this into maybe a 2-part series. And I think there's 2. I believe in this one there's 2 Plasmon Flames and Mega Evolution. It has a cute Pikachu. Pika. And it has a coin, a nice beautiful coin. So as you can see, I have a few of them around my area here. Let's play a game. Search for the Pokemon. Find the Pokemon. Find the 30-year anniversary Pokemon. Yeah, I'll give you a hint. I got one over here. I got one over here. And then I got another one up there. And then I got another one right here. And when they have them at Walmart, they're so much cheaper than buying it at GameStop. GameStop is a ripoff. GameStop really inflates the prices. The only reason why I put in an order for the perfect order is because I didn't want to go through the anxiety of not finding it or being too late and not be able to get a box at Walmart. At least I'm guaranteed that product at that price, because that price is going to go up. They always go up. And the secondary market, you could double, sometimes even triple of what you bought, and you can make that money. I'm probably most likely gonna buy 2. I'm probably gonna put in another order for a second one because I really would like to open one of them of the perfect order. I just made sure I put in an order to secure myself. I'm definitely gonna put in another one to have a second one for me to open. They are gonna be having like sleeves. which is like how I have here. They're kind of like these booster. These are the booster packs. They're gonna be having like these. Let me zoom in. It gets me. Here we go. When like these sleeves, I call them sleeves, but they're booster packs. They're gonna have perfect order booster packs. I found out today. Pretty cool. The prices were the 36 pack one, which is like a booster box. It has 36 packs. Was like $285 or $265. I know it's one of those two. I'm probably like $20 up or down of that. I was like, I just want the promo card, and hopefully I get a couple of hits. But I may put in for a second order and open it here, and then hopefully that helped the channel grab some more attention and gain some more subscribers. It's been pretty slow on the subscribers. I was doing good for a moment, and then it just really slowed the fuck down. I'm like, damn, how do I get subscribers? I'm not gonna put music. It's AMSR. It's a relaxing thing. I wanted people to relax and listen to the pack opening and look at the card, admire the card. I give people chances to hit pause so they could see the card. And then I put some AI graphics to the end, like little short 6-second videos to make it pop out and make it look like a Pokemon. So I think the creativity will gain me some subscribers down the line. It's just right now it's kind of like a pigeon looking for food, and it's very hard to find food. So you're pigeoning around. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you very much for showing up and for watching and rewatching. Thank you so much. Also, happy Pokemon Day. Something positive. Everything in the world that's so negative. Can we take at least a day to celebrate and celebrate 30-year anniversary of Pokemon? It's a pretty cool thing. And I hope 10 years from now, once we reach the 40-year anniversary, because we got the 35-year and then the 40-year anniversary. I hope to be around for that. I hope. And many of these 30-year anniversaries will be pretty valuable. And I definitely will put them away at some point, and not planning to open some of them because I really want to open them up with my niece. I would like to have that moment with her and just teach her like the Pokemon and teach her the cards and have her start her own little collection and have it as a positive hobby. Because people like to downplay it, and people forget that this is a motherfucking kids game. It belongs to the kids. It's not the adults. The adults, we collect it, but I'm collecting it, but I'm giving it to my niece. My niece is 4 years old. She doesn't know what the fuck Pokemon is, but I'm going to introduce it to her, especially this year for her birthday. I'm going to introduce it like the Pokemon. And we're going to open a pack together. And we might motherfucking open that pack in Disney World or maybe Sea World. Probably go to one of these parks and we're going to open it together. That is what I look forward to in life. The positive sides, the opportunities, the memories. That is what I want to continue to create. And especially I have the opportunity to do that with my niece. Makes it much better feeling for me and gives me more more reason to fight to stay here in hell. It gives me more reason to fight and stay here to help her along the way, because she will definitely need my help. And I want her to be successful. Whatever she does, I want her to really focus. I want her to be successful. And we'll see. You know, this world is like dog eats world. Like, it's a dog eats dog world, and it's tough. You know, when you go to school and you finish your school, they throw you right into the jungle, and you got to figure it out yourself. Like, what the fuck? They didn't teach me this shit in school. None of the shit that's in real world, you did not practice or get in high school. You have to figure that shit out on your own. Sometimes you get help, and that's great. But I didn't get help. I had to figure out my way. You know? To a certain point, like, you know, it's like, it's when it's time to go, it's time to go. You flee the coop. You be peace out. I'm out. You have to leave. You got to leave. And you leave. Sometimes the birds come back and they'll roost for a little bit, but then they leave again and never come back. I'm at the stage, I'm never coming back. So that's like part of growing up, you know? This is like my testament. Right. It's time to close off the show. Okay. Guys, thank you for watching. Happy Pokemon Day. Have a good morning, good afternoon, and a good night. And I'll catch you all on the flip side. I'll be back on here tomorrow for another show. We'll see. Oh, he said tomorrow, but tomorrow's Saturday. I'm working it, bitch. We'll be here Saturday and Sunday. I am going to work through this free trial of a upgraded advanced StreamYard, which has the same motherfucking problems. So I don't see any difference in having to pay more for the same. So it doesn't make sense to me, but I'm on a free trial, a week trial, and I'm going to be calling them tomorrow and let them know this shit's still fucked up, and see what they're going to do for me. Other than that, have a good night. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Be safe. Have a great weekend. It should be beautiful. If you're up here in the Northeast tomorrow, we're going to be in the 50s. Finally, some warmth and some beautifulness. Definitely going to get some snow. So hang tight. We're going to be good. Good night.